today I'm going to share with you. Today I'm going to be real with you and tell you why you should homeschool. I know some of y'all probably like, girl, I can't. No, yes, you can, and I'm going to share with you how I have been able to do it. Some things that I've learned, some things that I've had to change, and it has been an amazing journey. So I want to share with you why you should consider homeschooling and why it can be beneficial for not only you, but your children. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Just Lisa Renee, all things entrepreneurship and faith. And today, before I get started and spill the beans on how you should homeschool and what are some of the advantages, I want you to first hit that subscribe button if this is your first time rocking with me, and make sure that you like this video and comment on your thoughts of today's topic. So today I'm going to share with you 5 benefits of homeschooling your children right from home. The first one is like really the simplest. You get to personalize their education. So when you send your kids to a public school, you are basically conforming to what they want your children to know. Meaning that history, okay, and we already know this big old debate about what's been going on in the schools with them changing what your kids are learning about the true history of America. So, but yeah, we can talk about that another day. But nonetheless, you get to teach them what you want them to learn based on the subject. So with history, you get to teach them Black history every day. Whereas if they're going to public school, they're not going to be learning that every day. They're not going to be exposed to that type of information. You also get to personalize financial education, which is huge. I mean, they don't even teach financial literacy in school to kids. You get to start that from elementary on up, and you get to tailor it to your lifestyle. That also is with science and things like that. So my homeschool is a biblical okay, homeschool. So we read the Bible, we learn about Jesus, we learn about God, and they're not teaching that in schools. But you're probably like, well, Jaleesa, why not just send them to a private school? Private school costs, in some instances, a lot of money, okay? We have 4 kids. So for me, why not just take the initiative in teaching my children the fundamentals of life? Biblical information, financial literacy, their own Black history. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You also get to adjust the speed in which they are learning. So as you know, your kid may not learn the way that that teacher is teaching in that classroom setting. So that means that when you're homeschooling, you get to tailor the subject and the learning and the teaching environment for your kid. One kid may learn one way, another kid may learn a different way. And as their teacher, you get to tailor your teaching materials around how they learn. If you have one kid that learns more audio-based, you have another kid that learns more hands-on, you get to still teach them what they need to learn per their grade level, but you get to customize it to a way that they can understand. All right. The second benefit of homeschooling, okay, is you get to teach anywhere. That is the flexibility of being able to homeschool. So vacation time is not just during Christmas, Thanksgiving, Labor Day, 4th of July, New Year's Eve, or whatever. It can be any day of the week, any month of the year. You can follow your own year-round schedule. You can do a traditional, schedule for, school calendar year per like public school regulation and guidelines, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if you want to get up and go somewhere today and be out for a week, 2, months or whatever, or if you are someone who moves a lot, and with your children, you'll be able to transport those educational materials anywhere you go. Okay, so listen, if you want to be moving and grooving, shucking and jiving, you can take them kids, take your homeschooling, stuff online. A lot of stuff is online based, y'all. So I don't know if y'all have heard of a website called IXL.com, but that is what my family uses for our homeschool base. So y'all, if you got a computer, you got a phone, a tablet, you can take that stuff with you and travel and be able to still teach your children what they need to know per their grade level. I mean, it don't get no simpler than that. So next thing, number 3, would be flexible scheduling. This kind of goes with the last bullet point, but this goes a little more in depth. So as y'all know, most kids are not eager to wake up, 5, 6 in the morning so that they can be ready, catch the bus, or get dropped off in the car rider line. But with homeschooling, you get to create your daily schedule. Some days you're going to be on schedule. Some days you're going to be a little tardy to the party, and that's okay. You don't have somebody calling you talking about your kid was tardy, your attendance for your kid is, not up to par, whatever the case may be. Start your day based on the lifestyle that your family lives. If y'all are morning people, then great. If you're more evening people, then awesome. You can tailor your daily schedule to what works for you. You can start your day. You can take a 3-hour break in between. But see, what I love about homeschooling is you don't need 8 hours of an educational day for your kids to learn. 4 to 5 hours is sufficient for kids to learn what they need to learn and retain the information. It's about how you're teaching, not the amount in which you are teaching. If you need to break up your day, if you want to do 30 minutes here, per subject, however you want to do it, you can ping pong back and forth based on what works for your kids' learning style, what works for your lifestyle and your family. All right, so keep that in mind. Homeschooling is not a one size fit all. There is not a one thing that just you gotta do or you're not doing it right. Homeschool is just, it's supposed to be in the comfort of your home. You're supposed to create your own environment that is conducive for your kids' learning and conducive to your lifestyle. So just make it work. You can change your schedules. We've oh my gosh, we've tried so many doggone schedules. It ain't even fun. We try one. We do it, it don't work. We change it, it works. We may want to, change one subject to later in the day based on how the kids are just wanting to sit still and do their work. But it works. You can have a flexible schedule as long as they are learning what they are supposed to be learning. And you also have to pay attention to your state's guidelines with homeschooling. Make sure that you're not getting into no trouble and having them folks calling you or anything like that. Just follow the guidelines, move within those guidelines to make it work. So number 4 is going to be self-discipline. Listen, when your kid goes to school and they're following this schedule, most of the stuff they're teaching your kids in school is so that they can become an employee and do this rat race lifestyle for the cycle of their life. Homeschooling, you are able to manage what they are exposed to, creating self-discipline to create entrepreneurs and creative minds, okay? So, I don't want this to go over your head, okay? I don't want it to go over your head, but teaching them self-discipline on, okay, listen, you can learn, right? You can learn something, you can do something, and then not have to fit in the norm of society, because a lot of what society teaches us is not correct. It is false, it is misconstrued, misused, and mismanaged. So you want to create an environment where they are learning how to be self-disciplined. How can I be a 9-year-old and learn how to run my own business? We did something like this with our oldest 2 sons. They're running their candy shop. They bought a box of candy, from Sam's. They sold it, individually. They created bundle prices and they got rid of all of their stock. That simple thing, that simple concept is teaching them, okay, so this is the fundamentals of starting a company. If I have an idea, I can implement it and test it out. Okay, this even goes further. This is also science related because you're creating a hypothesis. What will happen when I purchase something and then if I sell it for this price, I think I'm going to sell out. I think you can spin it so many different ways, but either way you spin it, it will work, and it's creating discipline in their mind subconsciously. It is creating an environment in their minds where they can be creative and they can create new ways of living for when they get older and they're creating their own path. That motherhood, parenthood, homeschooling is about fostering an avenue for your kid to learn and thrive in to where it works for them. Okay, each kid is different. One kid may like something else than the other, but as their homeschooling teacher and as their parent or guardian, you have to understand how each kid learns and how to create self-discipline in each child. Okay, that's how it's gonna work. Moving on. Last one, number 5, is going to be exposure. So listen, I know y'all see what's going on in these public schools where you have the bullying, you have the push for ungodliness, okay? These kids doing a whole bunch of stuff out in these schools. I know. So when you are homeschooling, you get to manage, what is my kid listening to? What is my kid watching? What is my kid talking about? What is my kid exposed to? And even with the bullying, your kids may tussle and argue back and forth, but you get to intervene in those situations and say, hey, we're not going to argue. We're not going to disrespect each other. We're going to treat each other with respect. Listen, and I want to be very, 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 very plain. Homeschooling is not going to harm your child. Your kid will still be able to socialize with other kids. They are just as normal as someone going to a public or private school. I get so sick of hearing this misconception, oh, when you homeschool, your kid is not going to be involved in sports and your kid's not going to be able to talk to other kids. That is a complete lie. There are homeschool environments where kids meet up, parents meet up online, in person, field trips, sports. Listen, your kid, their only social interaction is not going to be in school. And if it is, that's probably a problem. And that's probably why you got so many bad little kids running around, because they're not having good social interactions at home or within their family or within their immediate friend group outside of school. So do not put the schools at the top of the line when it comes to educating your kid and their social interaction. Because I'm telling y'all right now, and I know we all been in school at some point in time. I know I have. I went to public school. And I also went to a charter school, which is just as bad as the public school. So, if you want to be more involved in your kid's life, and I'm here to tell you, homeschooling is not, listen, it ain't for the faint of hearts. I'm going to tell you this right on now.
It is not for the faint of heart.
I have my days where I be like, can I get a break? Because every kid is different. So as a teacher, you have to assimilate to each kid and not the other way around. The kid is not assimilating to you like a public school. You need to assimilate to their learning style. So it's going to be a bit of a curve. It's going to be a bit of, trial and error. But that's the fun part about it. You get to learn more about your kids. Your kids get to learn more about you. And y'all work together. All right? It's not going to be perfect, but nothing is. And it beats public school and somebody else teaching something that you do not want your child to be learning about or have exposure to. It's as easy as that. So listen, y'all, if y'all found this video at all the little bit of, helpful in any way, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts. I want to hear, what y'all think. If you're homeschooling, if you're thinking about homeschooling. I started homeschooling before COVID. So for me, this was just a reassurance on that I was doing the right thing for my kids, my family, okay? And as they mama, it's up to me, all right, to figure this out. So listen, don't let nobody punk you into thinking that homeschooling is not the route to take for your kids. It is one of the best decisions you can ever make as a mother, as a father, as a guardian, whatever role you got in their life. It is one of the best decisions you can make for them if you do it with an open mind, okay? That is the only way it's gonna work. So y'all, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Thank y'all for tuning in.